Now personally, what we know about the actual CZ P-10C is this is our actual boss's favorite pistol setup for everything from milsim games to even just typical backyard shooting. And who can blame it? The fact that it's a really cheap gun, really durable, that's been lasting quite some years for even our boss, and the fact that it's won multiple awards. So, while we look into that, let's see what the new kid on the block that ASG brought out, as we're going to be talking about today's CZ P-10. Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Airsoft Master, and today we're going to be talking about is the ASG CZ P-10C. Now, one thing that we know about with ASG is they're known for the reliability on the basis, and as well as that, the fact that their innovations is actually pretty good, mainly the fact they have fully licensed items from the CZ lineup. But for the P-10C, let's go ahead and talk about it from the front to the back, and we'll continue on from there. Starting off with is you do have your federally mandated orange tip on there, but the best part is if you twist this off, you do have as a 14mm counterclockwise threading to put any other suppressors or tracer units if you want to do that kind of style. Now when we get to the slide though, I do like the fact that for this one is you still have lacerations that are very more aggravated in the fact that compared to the front and the back comparison to the CZ P-09. So it's easier to rack for top rack or rear rack, whatever style you like. The best part about this though is the fact that they even give you an optic ready mount. Now we did try some of the optic mounts on here, such as like the actual Lancer Tactical red dots we usually carry or the Bravo RDS types, and unfortunately they don't fit in the screws and the alignments. So it's going to be more of a proprietary type of red dot out there. But we'll get onto actually the benefit of this later on the actual pistol itself. Now that we already talked about the slide, let's go ahead and talk about the frame underneath. Now for one thing is you'll have one slot Picatinny rail on the rear mount itself to put either flashlights or laser systems underneath for your pistol. But right underneath that you'll have is an actual safety, like some other airsoft guns out there. What there basically is going to be is your back and forth, where red of course on the dot to be for ready to fire, and of course for white being the safety is on and you won't be able to pull the trigger. A couple key features I do like on this frame in actuality is the fact that we have texturized parts where you would put your index fingers from either right-handed or left-handed operation to help keep it, just to show that where your finger should be is off the trigger. You also will have the same type of texturized grip on the back end of the pistol grip itself to help make it more stable in case if your hands do get wet or sweaty. And I do know that you guys are some sweaty players out there. Either way, you still have your basic controls on the left-hand side where your magazine release is right here. Your slide lock will be on the left-hand side, and also ambidextrous for your right-hand side as well. To take down it, of course, you're going to have is your typical takedown levers like a normal standardized Glock, where you would just pull these two down to push it back and rack it forward to be able to adjust anything from doing typical maintenance on here. So just like the CZ P-09, the CZ P-10 is also a striker fire type of pistol. So let's go ahead and check the trigger pull on this pistol. So we still have a slight slack, but as well to that, we're able to reach to the wall. It's nice and audible, so when we pull it, it's still there. Let's go ahead and hear the reset. Again, pretty nice audible clicks that you can get to know where to find the wall and to help find the reset. So Mike, one of the questions is we noticed that when you took off the slide itself, that's usually where we adjust the hop up. For this one, it's not really necessary because you would actually find it on the left-hand side of the slide underneath itself, where you just move it like a typical dial like you would have as your normal airsoft gun, adjusting by moving it up or down to the dial to help increase or decrease your hop up for your backspin. Nice little touches on ASG. Now remember how I said that the optics mount on here is slightly proprietary? Well, we don't really have to worry about that since ASG will also provide you the rear sight for it. So you have a backup sight just in case if you want to use it right off the fly. It's as simple as basically removing the grub screw that's underneath the plate mount itself and then just changing it with the backup rear sight by sliding it off and installing it and it's plug and play. Speaking about plug and play, the same thing can be applied to the magazine by actually adding the CO2 cartridges by removing the base pad itself and using the Allen key to remove the screw and installing the new CO2 cartridge. Now that we already have the screw ready to go, all we need to do is just give it the nice little torque that it needs to remove the pressure. Once we hear the nice little hiss, we are ready to go. And of course, like a normal magazine, plug and play. I'm using 0.20 gram BBs and CO2 cartridge. Alright, so what we looked at from chrono, knowing that we have around the 320 to 340 FPS. Still pretty good for a small compact pistol, and for CO2, very consistent as we noticed on the consistency for the FPS itself. When you purchase your CZ P-10, it'll come with a couple of key things alongside with just the pistol and the magazine. The one thing, as I stated before, is you'll end up with your backup rear sights in case you don't want to use the optic ready. You'll come with the actual back straps in case if that, for example, the back strap on the actual back end of the grip is a little bit too exaggerated, you can always adjust it to your size for more comfort. You're going to have your Allen key to help change out your CO2 magazine. And of course, the last thing you would need is your safety manual in regards to maintenance and troubleshooting situations. So my final thoughts on the CZ P-10C. Well, for starters, I do like how they give you the backup sight for this in case you don't want to use the optic mount. As for the optic mount though, I was having difficult times of trying to see if I can make one fit, as we had the two type of selections such as the Bravo RDS red dot sight and the typical Lancer Tactical micro red dots that would go on normal pistols that we've tried before. And they still don't fit on the mount very well. So if you have any other recommendations on other red dots, please let me know in the comments so I can actually see what this looks like with the micro red dot. And I can see that where it could be possibly a nice little flex. Now, for the frame, I do have to give it credit for the texturized style because that does help out with stability and make it easier to use in other standard operations and to be more compact. And as well as compact for the frame, we have to admit I do like that my pinky is not hanging out like normal compact pistols would be, such as like a Glock 23 or even the Glock 19s. So it does fit just right as well. But overall, for CZ P-10 and the idea of the reliability and everything else and the consistency, I do like this, and it's still a new innovation to the actual lineup from ASG themselves. But what do you guys think about the CZ P-10? Don't forget to like and subscribe and drop a comment below on what you guys think about it. As well, if you're looking for the pistol like this, just check it out at airsoftmaster.com. But for this episode, my name's Mike. I'll see you guys on the next time. And also, happy holidays, guys.
This video is brought to you by Airsoft Master.